for Fabio, but just for a moment there I thought it might sail over his head. 3.5 minutes gone. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 0. An eventful start, but neither side has really had to pack a punch in terms of a chance in front of goal so far. The forecast is for rain later on today, but for now everyone in the crowd is enjoying beautiful sunshine. 34 degrees. Topping up the tan. That's a lovely touch from Rene. He lost it for a moment, and then the recent signing from Internacional just knocked it beyond Nkunku and burst forward up towards the halfway line. Now inside to Nonato. Nonato jinking past Enzo Fernandez and sending it wide to Guga. Guga along with Rene, two defenders that have come into the Fluminense side, have made 4 changes, 2 forced because of suspension to Martinelli and Freitas. They have a 40-year-old, they have a 44-year-old goalkeeper, 35-year-old in there as well, and the 37-year-old leading the line. Add to that 32-year-old wing-back. They've gone for experience here, Fluminense, but it's not unknown of in South American football, believe me. They do have different traits in South American football to the Europeans. They're happy to go with shorter goalkeepers, they're happy to go with shorter central defenders. You'll often find players at the height of 5'3", 5'4", playing at the top in Argentina and in Colombia and Brazil. You don't get that too often in European football. And they're happy to go with experience as well. It's a common trait that the player will come through, be sold to Europe and end up his career back at that same club. It's a very common trait. There is a break in play here, a foul by Enzo. Enzo has gone absolutely mad at the 4th official, Mehdi Ramoni, pointing to his eyes. Sensible refereeing by Francois Letexia. It pulls him to one side and just calms the Chelsea captain down and says, look, you know, let's not get carried away with the heat here. It's a free kick, you have fouled him. I haven't booked it. Let's get on with it. Sensible refereeing that by Letexia. Remember, the final is here on Sunday, as is the semi-final tomorrow, Real Madrid against Paris Saint-Germain. Not looking forward to that one at all, are we? Of course, what a game that will be. But we're concentrating on Fluminense against Chelsea. It's 6 minutes gone. Fluminense have gone forward down the right-hand side, and I think he was offside when he gathered the ball there, Guga, but then put it straight back down the line again towards Hercules, and he's overhit it considerably, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Chelsea. 6.5 minutes gone in the searing heat of New York City. This is where it's all focused now. The last 3 matches of this tournament, the groups have long gone, the knockouts have got to the semi-final stage, and we've got our 4 semi-finalists here in New York vying for a place in Sunday's final. Chelsea have the ball at the moment inside their own half, threaded forward. Joao Pedro, first time we've really mentioned him, tries to play the ball towards Neto on the left-hand side. Following him every inch of the way was Thiago Santos. Put the block in and away for a throw into Chelsea, who've had more of the ball than Fluminense. We're expecting that, but Flozao, the big Flu as they're known, have not been troubled in any way, shape or form by Chelsea at the moment. And at the other end, Chelsea have not had a finger laid on them in the final third either. Feeling their way into the game, these two sides. 7.5 minutes gone. It's held up really well by Joao Pedro. And he gets it again from Gusto. Nkunku's made a good run down the line, but it's gone to Joao Pedro. Good turn inside, the former Brighton and Hove Albion player. First start for Chelsea since signing from the Seagulls. There's another former Seagull, Cucurella. Pedro Neto cutting inside, running towards the edge of the box. He's being caught there by Nonato. Nonato, the holding midfielder, just stuck in a flailing foot, and it's going to be a free kick. Referee reaches for his pocket, but it's not for a card, it's for a spray can. He just left his foot in there. He knew exactly what he was doing with Nonato. He was on loan from Santos. Second time he's actually joined on loan from Santos. They're talking about a move being permanent. Fluminense have themselves some defending to do. taken quickly. Cole Palmer gets the cross in towards Pedro, headed towards goal by Cucurella from just outside the 6-yard box, but it was a ball that was coming down at him and he didn't get much power on the header. It was fairly comfortable for the veteran goalkeeper Fabio, who bowls it out to Thiago. It's Thiago Santos and Thiago Silva. We'll go with Thiago for Thiago Santos. We'll go with Thiago Silva for Thiago Silva. Here's Pedro Neto. He's got it back from Cucurella. Go on the outside of Guga, but Guga's not going to give him an inch, so has to spray it all the way back to Enzo Fernandez. And back in turn to Tosin. And wide towards the right hand side. And Kunku to Gusto. Gusto picking out Chalobah. Chalobah, it seems like he's playing on the right of the partnership with Tosin. Tosin usually plays on the left, on the right rather. He's playing on the left today. Punched away by Fabio. The ball was up in the air and it was looking dangerous into the box here. Chelsea with some good build-up play now down the left-hand side with Pedro Neto. He's got the overlap momentarily of Cucurella, but he got caught a little bit in no man's land, and let's check back into the more familiar surrounds of left back and helps it to Tosin, coming deep to pick it up again, and a welcome return it is for Chelsea as well for Moises Caicedo. He'll be very familiar with these kind of conditions, the Ecuadorian, ever present in the Premier League last season. Another Brighton old boy, of course. Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, former Brighton player. 4 former Brighton players in the starting lineup for Chelsea today. So with Tosin inside his own half, Chalobah digs it out from underneath his feet, crossing the halfway line, gaining 10 yards, hitting the feet of Christopher Nkunku. Gets his second successive start for Chelsea, which not many people were expecting. The French international, former Leipzig player, of course. Here's Joao Pedro. He's given the ball away, and that's a neat little ball inside from Arias, who looks a danger, but Chelsea quickly pick it off with Caicedo. He's so good at winning that ball back in that midfield position. Gusto up towards the corner edge of the penalty area, comes inside, left-footed, gets the cross in. It falls nicely to Enzo, and he couldn't quite get the shot through the crowd, and it's blocked. It's a good block as well, that from Thiago Silva. And the ball deflected out towards the far side. Is it going to go out of play? No, it's kept in just about by René. And then all the way back, deflected to Fabio, the goalkeeper. Plays it short dangerously as well to Thiago Santos, who has to quickly scoop it away, and it's going to be a Chelsea throw over on the far side, midway inside the Fluminense half. First half here, Chelsea are kicking from right to left. Great Ronaldo, not Cristiano, but Ronaldo, the Brazilian, is here today. One of the guests for FIFA at these semi-finals in New York. Tosin has a look up. That's a splendid ball over the top from Tosin. Making the run from the midfield was Enzo, but he can't quite keep it in play. And he acknowledges an excellent ball that from Tosin. Just had a look up. He was on the halfway line. Just saw the run, and he was just marginally offside, in fact. Although the flag never did get to go up, it run over the shoulder and just slightly out. Appreciated that by Enzo Maresco. The ball from Tosin. Every time I've seen Tosin in the last few months, whenever he's played for Chelsea, and he's got plenty of game time, it has to be said, in the last few months. He has been used quite a lot this season by Enzo Maresco. I have to say, he's slotted in and looked every inch as good as Badiashile and Colwell. They're both missing today. Badiashile injured, Colwell suspended. So we've gone with Chalobah and Tosin. 60% possession for Chelsea. It's 12% of that no man's land in contention, and 28% for Fluminense. So Chelsea have had more than double the ball of Fluminense, but at this moment in time it's Fluminense that have the ball. Guga just inside the Chelsea half from a free kick. Plays it neatly into Germain Cana, the Argentine. Just stroking the ball about at the moment. Guga plays it back to Thiago Silva, who trots across and chips it up to the halfway line. Cucurella is beaten in the air by Guga. Second ball won by Caicedo. Tries to knock it against Arias, and now it's won by Nonato. Gets it out wide to Rene on the left-hand side. Rene has a look up in towards the penalty area, trying to find Germain Cano. That's good defending by Tosin to sweep the ball away for a throw-in over on the far side to Fluminense, midway inside the Chelsea half. You're listening to audio commentary coverage of Fluminense against Chelsea at the MetLife Stadium in New York in the FIFA Club World Cup semi-final. First of two semi-finals. It's the Copa Libertadores winners from 2023. They're playing against the recent Conference League winners, Chelsea. It's not because they won that they're here. They won the last one of these competitions in 2021, and that therefore books them a place in these finals, which they've got as far as the semi-finals. Said at the top of the commentary, is it going to backfire on them come the Premier League and the Champions League season? Look at the bench today. Nicholas Jackson linked with a move to Italy. Noni Madueke, is he going to Arsenal? Dewsbury Hall, can't see him being at Chelsea next season. There's going to be a few departures there, aren't there? Mark Guehi further down the pecking order by some distance, I would have thought, the striker. I'm sure he's going to be hanging around. He probably won't get game time in the Champions League like he did in the Conference League. So there's going to be a lot of players expected to depart from this Chelsea side, so therefore they will be bringing in new faces. There's Pedro Neto down the left-hand side. He's got two to beat, and that was extremely difficult, trying to get the better of both Hercules and Guga. And Hercules is a big, strong fella, 24-year-old, signed from Fortaleza back in December. He's hit 3 goals since his arrival, and Kunku weaving his way forward. He's been brought down, and that's going to be a free kick to Chelsea in potentially a very dangerous position. Probably just a little too far out for a shot. Happy to give away the free kick was Facundo Buenal, the Uruguayan. Grabbing hold of Nkunku from the side. Subtle, but not subtle enough to wrong foot the referee from France, Francois Letexia. Some work to do here, Fluminense, from this free kick. Chelsea have dominated the early stages but haven't really created anything yet. 16.5 minutes have gone. Enzo Fernandez is going to take this free kick. He calls rank as captain over Cole Palmer. Too far out for Cole Palmer. It's a good 30-35 yards from goal. Enzo with the free kick. It's glanced towards goal by Tosin. The header was always going wide, and that's going to be a goal kick. So, chance there for Chelsea to get the ball into the box. Had it gone in, I think there were 4 Chelsea players who you could argue were beyond the last defender and therefore in an offside position. One of them was Tosin. It was his header that was wide of target. Since his arrival for Fulham 12 months ago, he has scored 5 goals for Chelsea, including one in this competition. It is Fluminense 0, Chelsea 0. Who will play in the final on Sunday against Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain? Intriguing. As Chelsea come forward again down the left-hand side with Neto. Neto trying to tease his way past Guga, gets the cross in, it's cleared away, and then a curling effort. Oh, what a goal that is! It's Joao Pedro, and he announces his arrival in style. He refuses to celebrate, the Brazilian, out of respect for Fluminense from his homeland. But that is one exhilarating finish from Joao Pedro. Well, that's what they've brought him for. Chelsea, perhaps last season, lacking firepower and quality in that number 9 position. Well, Joao Pedro has just curled a brilliant brilliant goal rather, into the corner. It could have been a free kick the way he hit it. It's played down the left-hand side. It was a clever ball. It was by Joao Pedro from the halfway line that set away Neto, and he tried to outpace Guga, couldn't. So he held it back. Cross comes in. Thiago Silva launches it away, only as far as the edge of the penalty area, and it falls to Joao Pedro, and he just curled it and it was out of the reach of the fingertips of Fabio and into the corner. It's a really good finish. That is an exhilarating finish from Joao Pedro, right into the corner, nestling in the nets, and the MetLife Stadium is buzzing after that. A goal of immense quality has Chelsea in front. They've dominated the early stages. They've got the goal they were craving for. No chance for Fabio. Well, he's 44 years of old. I doubt he would have stopped that if he was 24 or 34. But Joao Pedro started the move, and he finished it as well. And my goodness me, what a finish into the corner. It nestled grand into the net. And Chelsea lead by a goal to nil. The first start tonight for Joao Pedro. And it was made by Pedro, who found Pedro, and then Pedro's cross was cleared, and it fell for the other Pedro, Pedro Neto. With the cross, Joao Pedro with the finish. And it won't fluster Fluminense. They have a team packed with experience, and they'll know that their moments in this game will come, but they've got to make sure that they don't fall any further behind. There's Cucurella, neatly worked to him by Tosin. Cucurella has made a little bit of ground up down the left hand side into the Fluminense half. Pedro Neto, Enzo Caicedo. That partnership is just starting to blossom, isn't it? Caicedo and Enzo. I've my doubts. I tell you what, they've been brilliant in this tournament. I think we've got a player of the quality of Romeo Lavia in the wings, and also Andre Santos. Real riches in that midfield area. Here is Pedro Neto, and the header towards goal, and it was another chance, this time for Malo Gusto, and he steered it straight at the goalkeeper Fabio. That could have been two. Great play again by Chelsea, and once more down the left hand side, Pedro Neto causing all sorts of problems, and he got ahead of Rene with a header, did Malo Gusto. And he claimed the goal that won them the quarter-final, Malo Gusto. It ended up going down as an own goal. That would have been his first goal of the season. So he's still looking for that first goal of the season. Attempts at goal, Chelsea 4, Fluminense 1. On target, Chelsea 2, Fluminense 0. Goals scored, Fluminense 0, Chelsea 1, of course. Pedro Neto with the cross, cleared away by Thiago Silva and curled brilliantly from just outside the box on the left-hand side with the right foot of Joao Pedro. What a way to mark your first start for Chelsea. It's a brilliant goal. Chelsea lead. There's Trevor Chalobah. Just eases it inside the centre circle. Tosin. Cucurella. Pedro Neto is getting plenty of space down this left-hand side up against Guga. It's pushing Guga back. They've gone with the wing-backs as they usually do, Fluminense, but those wing-backs have been pushed back as full-backs pretty much, Guga and Rene. Here is Rene in the left-back position. Has to go all the way back to the edge of his penalty area. It's played across by Thiago Silva to Ignacio. Ignacio, formerly of Bahia and Sporting Cristal, another experienced 28-year-old. He's the pup at the back there. That back line with a combined age of 103, and they've only got 3 defenders in that back line. It's quite some age, and then you've got the 44-year-old goalkeeper on top of that, and a 32-year-old wing-back, a 37-year-old striker. Christopher Nkunku finding the feet of Enzo Fernandez, gets the ball out towards the left-hand side. The cross comes in, and Nkunku couldn't control the cross, which was whipped in by Gusto. And free kick has gone the way of Fluminense for a foul by Enzo Fernandez. He's got some thinking to do as Mano Menezes, the Fluminense coach, and his assistant Wagner Bertelli down the touchline with Martial, the coach. The side have been second best, and the scoreline suggests that. We're 23.5 minutes in. It's going the way of Chelsea at the moment, leading by a goal to nil. And you just wonder what would happen if Chelsea were to get a second goal. It would put them effectively in the driving seat of this game, and they are already pretty much in that driving seat, aren't they? Enzo Fernandez. He's been penalised again, and more of a stern word this time from the referee on Fernandez. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but he just left a little bit of a foot in. He's got that about him, hasn't he? Enzo Fernandez, he's got the boyish looks, but he's got a steely South American determination about him that has seen him spearhead an Argentine World Cup success. He can look after himself in there, and alongside Moises Caicedo, it's a Chelsea midfield that is capable of mixing with the very best. And they will have to mix with the very best if they get through this, because it will be Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain in the final. Take your pick. Is there any stopping Paris Saint-Germain at the moment, though? Kylian Mbappe is just coming back to full fitness, and I wonder if he'll play a big part tomorrow. It's going to be intriguing, isn't it? Here come FLUMINESE, they're not to be discarded so far, and it comes through to an equalising goal, is it? No, off the line. It was snuck past the goalkeeper by Joao Arias, and no goal has been given, but did it cross the line? I don't think it did. Caicedo goes in for the challenge and wins the ball back, and then Malo Gusto can clear his lines, but did it cross the line? It was a great through ball, and Joao Arias got through, steely determination, slotted it past Robert Sanchez and off the line by Marc Cucurella. There hasn't been a break in play since to reflect on that chance, but it looked like Cucurella got there just in the nick of time, and here come Chelsea forward with Enzo Fernandez trying to find Cole Palmer, who's been very, very quiet so far. And the game's still going on. This time it's FLUMINESE coming forward in the midfield area with Nanato. Nanato out to Guga on the right-hand side, slowing things down, giving it once again to Bernal this time. Bernal back to Ignacio and across to Thiago Silva. And now there's a player down. It's Enzo Fernandez who's taken a whack to the head. It might just give us an opportunity, if we can, to have a look at the moment where Joao Arias thought he'd scored an equaliser, slotted it past the goalkeeper. Was it in? No, it wasn't. Good covering at the back from Marc Cucurella. I don't think any of the ball crossed the line in the end. So close though. FLUMINESE almost finding an equaliser. Joao Arias denied on the line. Clear it away by Marc Cucurella. 26, nearly 27 minutes gone. This is the cue for a drinks break. Temperatures down on pitch side at kick-off were 34 degrees. That remains the case. Joao Pedro scored on his first start for his previous club, Brighton. And he's repeated the fate here for Chelsea. Cooling break, giving the players a chance to take on fluids, and both sets of players are also receiving ice towels to help cool their heads and arms down. It's a very, very warm day here in New York, and these are the conditions that we can expect come the FIFA World Cup in 12 months' time. Only 28 minutes gone. We've got air conditioning units down on pitch side which are blowing out cold air, which is probably benefiting everyone on the touchline, the substitutes, the coaching staff, but doing very little to cool the 22 players on the pitch. The goal line technology says no goal. Not one ounce of the ball was actually over the goal line. It wasn't even a close call. Cucurella got there with plenty to spare. I'll tell you what was over the line. That was Joao Pedro's curling effort beyond the reach of the goalkeeper and into the far corner. It's a brilliant goal from Joao Pedro. He's got it in his locker. I think he'll get the ammunition with Chelsea. There's no question that this Chelsea side have the credentials to do damage next season in whatever tournament they are playing in. And they, at the moment, are on course, although there's still a lot of football to be played here, still on course for the final, winning by 1-0. The Argentinian fans in the crowd with their Argentina shirts on, celebrating. Here, supporting no doubt Enzo Fernandez. We all know about the rivalry that is between Brazil and Argentina. 11 out of 12 sides that have scored first in the knockout rounds have progressed. So it's looking good for Chelsea here, and they are leading by 1-0. And we're just about to get back underway. There will be a drop ball to Thiago Silva. 113 Brazilian caps, 100 appearances for Chelsea, 200 appearances for Paris Saint-Germain, AC Milan amongst his former clubs as well. What hasn't he achieved in his football career? And he's still going strong at 40, and he reads the game so brilliantly well. Ignacio plays it out wide to Guga. Got to try and figure out a way of getting those two wing backs further forward and causing more damage. But that's a good ball over the top, a header in fact by Nonato towards Cano, but good defending by Trevor Chalobah, who got there first ahead of Arias and managed to clear for touch. There's a throw in to Fluminense, and Nonato all the way back to Thiago Silva. In turn goes back to his goalkeeper Fabio, cleared up towards the halfway line, miscontrolled by the Chelsea fullback Malo Gusto. Didn't really matter in the end, it was retrieved by Chalobah. And now Cole Palmer, who has seen relatively little of the ball. Searing heat, probably not his favourite of conditions. He's got the ball again now, gives it back to Chalobah. Now Tosin. Chelsea leading here by 1-0 if you are just joining us. 31 minutes gone. The goal coming from Joao Pedro. Brilliant curling effort into the far corner. A first start for Chelsea this evening, and he's marked his first appearance from the start for Chelsea with a first goal for Chelsea. It'll be an interesting battle between him and also Liam Delap for place in this Chelsea side. But with Champions League football, you'd think they will both get a fair crack, and they even see both of them up there at some point together. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 1. Fluminense have conceded a free kick inside their own half. Not a free kick, it's a throw-in in fact. It's been taken quickly. Here is Caicedo. Back to Tosin. Dribbles forward into the centre circle. Finds Nkunku. Wide to Pedro Neto. Little step over. Two defenders in front of him. Goes back to Nkunku. Back again to Neto. This is Caicedo. Wants Tosin to move a little bit further away so he can pass it to him without getting in the way of what was otherwise the shortest of passes. But, Chelsea in control of this game at the moment. They are dictating, but it was the case in the quarter-final. But Palmeiras got back to 1-1. It was heading towards extra time before that late goal. Against Brazilian opposition in the group stages, Flamengo, they won. So they were 1-0 up at half-time. Chelsea ended up losing 3-1. So second half performances against Brazilian opposition have not been as good as the first half performances against Brazilian opposition. It's going to be a corner here. First corner of the game. It came off of Cole Palmer. He's saying it hit Neto last. Neto making a run into the box. And he was quite right there. Cole Palmer. It hits Palmer. It hits Neto. And goes behind for what should have been a goal kick, but instead it's a corner. And the noisy Brazilian fans urging an equaliser from Fluminense. So a corner to Florzeia. It comes glanced away by Tosin. It's going to be played back in again. Took a deflection out towards the right-hand side once more. Jean Arion. Can he chip it in? He can. He was caught in no man's land a little bit there was Robert Sanchez. Drifted towards his near post, and he was indebted in the end to Trevor Chalobah for getting the header away. Chelsea still under a bit of pressure inside their own final third. Free kick has been given for a foul, a needless foul really there from Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro went in heavily on Ignacio, took him and not the ball. It was a striker's challenge. I don't know quite what Robert Sanchez was doing there, and he was indebted in fact to Joao Pedro for initially winning that header, but then he's given away a free kick. Good header by Pedro, but in a pretty sloppy challenge that's given away a dangerous free kick here. 1-0 Chelsea. Fluminense have since had one cleared off the line, and they are looking to pile on the pressure. You're listening to audio commentary coverage of Fluminense against Chelsea in the first of two semi-finals in the FIFA Club World Cup semi-finals. In comes a free kick, and eventually volleyed away, and I think the referee's given a penalty for a handball. It's a penalty to Fluminense, and I think it might have hit the hand of Cucurella. Well, it was going nowhere, and the referee pointed immediately to the spot. He's now surrounded by Chelsea players, but it bobbled up, and I think it hit the arm of Cucurella. And he looks like Fluminense have been given a lifeline here to get back level. And well, since the cooling break, it's hit both arms of Chalobah. I don't think he's going to get away with that one. It looked like it hit his right arm and then his left arm. He's not going to get away with that one, Trevor Chalobah. I think that's a definite. VAR are going to have a look at it, but they're going to have to find something pretty conclusive to overturn what the referee has awarded here. They're going to check for the VAR. The referee is being surrounded by 5 or 6 Chelsea players. He's going to have a look here, the referee. Well, for me, it's hit Trevor Chalobah on the arm, but his arm is in a natural position. That is the one thing that the Chelsea players are saying. Now, we're having a look at webcam, the referee's webcam, as he comes across to take a look. The French referee, Francois Letexier, as it comes in. And it's hit the arm of Trevor Chalobah. Is it in a natural position? Yes, but he does move it towards his body slightly. First time I saw it was from behind. It does look as if it hits almost both arms and crosses his body, but that wasn't the case at all. The referee's coming back out. What's he going to give? Subjective this, and the referee's going to overturn it. He's not going to give a penalty. Well, it most definitely struck the arm of Trevor Chalobah. His saving grace was that his arm was in a natural position, and the penalty has been overturned. And Trevor Chalobah has got away with one there. No handball is the verdict from VAR. On the VAR tonight, from Colombia, Nicolas Gallo, and from France, Jérôme Brissart. Well, it's subjective. It's how you determine in your own eyes whether that was a penalty or not. It strikes him on the arm, yes. Was it in a natural position? Yes. Was it handball? Yes. Seen them given. Probably the right decision by the current rule book. Probably change in 6 months, if not sooner. Some will argue, football purists, it's hit him on the hand, it's a penalty. Others will say it's a natural position, it's not a penalty. I have to say, I'm kind of erring in my old-fashioned ways towards the first, which is that he's hit his hand. It's a handball. If that was in the centre circle, would it have been a free kick? Yes. And there wouldn't have been VAR, and there wouldn't have been an argument, and that's football. It's anyway. Chelsea have a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. Trevor Chalobah is calling for the ball on the right-hand side. At the moment it's Tosin. He doesn't fancy giving it to Chalobah. Cano has come across and close the supply line between the two central defenders. So he's come across to the left-hand side. And it's a talking point that's got everyone buzzing around the stadium. We're just seeing the referee cam. And you know what? He's seen it and he's given the penalty straight away. He's spotted it, eagle-eyed, for Francois Letexia. And you can see why he's given it. But VAR is there to correct things. And perhaps it's just about got it right now. That's one that you will argue both sides of the coin. But it is Fluminense 0, Chelsea 1. Thanks to a super strike on his first start for Chelsea for Joao Pedro. Cole Palmer into Nkunku. Nkunku playing pretty much as a right winger, but he's drifting infield quite a lot to allow Gusto to get forward. Here is Nkunku cutting inside into Enzo. Can't find a way of threading the ball through to the left-hand side towards Pedro Neto, and it's cleared away by Ignacio deep into the Chelsea half. Now Cole Palmer inside to the centre circle, and Cucurella finding Neto. Neto just inside the Fluminense half, and Nkunku is brought down, illegally so, by Hercules. No doubt that was a free kick. And Nkunku adjusts his sock on his right ankle and pulls it up, and it's pulled up to his feet by Juan Arias. Chelsea take the free kick. Gusto to Chalobah, and now it's with Tosin. Tosin again off of Cucurella. Last 5 minutes of the first half, Chelsea leading 1-0. Scoreline probably just about reflects how we've seen the first half unfold. Great turn that down the left-hand side from Pedro Neto, heading towards the penalty area. Neto, and it's turned behind. Good challenge coming in by Facundo Bernal, but that was a wonderful run from the halfway line from Pedro Neto. Showed a clean pair of heels to his opponent. Comes inside, beats a second, but the third was a denial for Facundo Bernal to turn it behind for a corner. Neto is going to take this corner. Wallows lazily towards the corner flag on this near side. You can tell it is energy sapping, this heat. Neto's body language, after just exerting some serious energy into that solo run, is one that has worn him out. His free kick, his corner kick rather, was played straight into the air, and Fabio claims it, stays down as well. Landed awkwardly, the goalkeeper. And he took the ball nice and cleanly. And he ended up falling into his teammate Thiago Santos, and it was the bridge of his back that's been injured, but he's back on his feet and he takes the drop ball. It wasn't a foul because it was a collision with one of his own players. So just over 3 minutes of the first half remaining. Chelsea leading here by a goal to nil. Pedro Neto's goal. Chelsea at the moment on course for the final. But remember, they were 1-0 up against Flamengo and lost 3-1, the Brazilians. They were 1-0 up against Palmeiras. Palmeiras come back strong after half-time. Chelsea's second half performances against Brazilian opposition in this tournament have not been as good as the first. And it follows suit again here. Nkunku, just over the halfway line on the right-hand side. Out wide to Malo Gusto. Reece James is back on the bench for Chelsea for this game. Here's Joao Pedro, who's judged to have strayed into an offside position over on the far side. Just arced his run around Thiago Silva, who stepped out. Very, very clever. He reads that game so very well, does Thiago Silva. Half-time fast approaching. Can't imagine. We did have the cooling break, which is a couple of minutes. But that side, not too many stoppages. It's been pretty free-flowing. Can't say there was too much in the way of goal celebrations, because Joao Pedro was reluctant to celebrate against Brazilian opposition out of respect. Chelsea leading by 1-0. Fluminense at the moment. Out from the back, Thiago Santos. Now a drive forward by Hercules. Out to Guga on the right-hand side, up against Cucurella. Inside it goes once again. Thiago Santos has joined in. Donato. And then wide by Hercules. Again it's Guga. Guga up against Cucurella. Donato driving inside. 10 yards inside the opposition half. Fluminense looking to start on the front foot. Of course, Joao Pedro started his career with Fluminense. 5 goals in 29 appearances, having come through from the academy. That's when he joined Watford, and then Brighton, and then Chelsea. He refused to celebrate against the club that brought him into professional football. Here comes the cross. Oh, it's a great ball in, and he didn't take the chance there, John Arias. What a ball in from Guga. John Arias had it just outside the penalty area. It comes straight to his feet, and he got it caught underneath his feet, and the moment passed. Well, that was a great ball in from it was Hercules, in fact, with the ball in. And he should have done better, John Arias. Finishing the half really well here. We're just about to hit the 45-minute mark. We will find out in a matter of seconds just how many minutes are added on. The fourth official from Slovakia, Ivan Barton, has put the board up and says 5 minutes. So 5 minutes of stoppage time. Plenty of time for Fluminense to try and find an equaliser before half-time. And they're on top at the moment. In possession over on the left-hand side with Rene. Plays it on to Thiago Santos. Brushes aside, and Kunko knocks him to the ground in the process. Great strength there from Thiago Santos. And then given away to Joao Pedro. Just prods it inside, and now it's Pedro Neto into the penalty area. Pedro Neto with the shot, and that was a good block by Thiago Silva to put it behind for a corner. But he's looked really inspirational down that left-hand side. Pedro Neto for Chelsea, brushing aside the challenge of Ignacio. Good defending by Thiago Silva. And behind for a corner. Pedro Neto causing problems. Big involvement in the only goal of the game so far. Captain Thiago Silva with the block. A corner for Chelsea. Pedro Neto is going to take it. Over on the near side, which is the left. Lifts it into the penalty area. It's flicked on, and the header was wide by Trevor Chalobah. And there was no, in fact, it was Nkunku from Chalobah's flick. It was Nkunku who's put it wide. And that wasn't a bad chance for Chelsea. He was reaching at it slightly from 6 yards out, and Nkunku glanced it wide. Perhaps should have done better. Perhaps should have done better. Still 1-0 Chelsea. Well, the game has still got life in it at 1-0. Will there be a little bit more adventure and ambition from the Brazilian side? They want to throw in over on the far side, or at least they thought they had. It's actually gone the opposite way. Enzo Fernandez puts his hands up in the air and applauds the referee's decision and the assistant referee's decision. They've played 2 of the 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 1. World Club Cup winners 2021 was their last honour, Chelsea, until the recent Conference League win against Real Betis just a few weeks ago. Could they be adding another trophy to the collection? The way things are going, they're heading to the final. There's still work to be done here. They lead by a 1-0. Here's their go-to man at the moment, Pedro Neto, on the left-hand side. Back to Enzo. Just guides it back to Tosin, puts his studs on the ball, releases it up to the halfway line, and Caicedo, there's a welcome addition back to that Chelsea midfield this afternoon in the searing heat. Something that he's grown up with in Ecuador. What is this, Caicedo? The chopping and changing of Chelsea He played every single Premier League game this season, did Caicedo. That's how pivotal he is for them. Rene in the full-back position. Plays it in, but won again by Caicedo. But this time, he's ended up hauling down Germain Cano as he tries to turn. Cano winning a free kick. The 37-year-old veteran. The ball is lofted downfield. I think he was trying to get the better of the goalkeeper there. Burnout. Tried to chip it over the goalkeeper, going miles wide. Into the final minute of stoppage time. It's a goal kick to Chelsea. And they know that they are just about there in this first half. Chelsea leading 1-0. Joao Pedro with the only goal of the game. Joao Pedro was born in Sao Paulo. Very much a Brazilian boy. He's come back to haunt the team, the club that gave him his initial opportunity. And quite rightly, he refused to celebrate that goal. But what a goal it was to get his Chelsea account up and running. Chelsea have surrendered a free kick just inside their own half. Foul again by Enzo Fernandez. He's breaking up play. He's an intelligent player, Enzo Fernandez. Between Fernandez and Caicedo, they do the edgy work in there so effectively well. There's a physicality about that Chelsea midfield as well as finesse. But at half-time, it is Chelsea that deservedly lead by a goal to nil. The only goal coming from the former Fluminense player, Joao Pedro. Super curling effort into the corner. His first goal for Chelsea on his first start for Chelsea. Thiago Silva not too happy with the French referee Francois Letexia over something. Felt perhaps that his side should have had a penalty. Trevor Chalobah handled. Penalty was given, and then he had a look at the monitor, did Letexia, and overturned his initial decision. So at half-time, it is Chelsea that lead Fluminense by a goal to nil, but this tie is far from over. Second half, well, that's coming up right after this break.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Welcome back to our audio commentary coverage of FLUMINESE against Chelsea in the semi-final, the first of two semi-finals in the Club World Cup. We're at the MetLife Stadium in New York in sweltering conditions. It's just starting to cool down, and Thiago Silva is continuing his argument with French referee Francois Letexia over the penalty that wasn't in the first half. Hit Trevor Chalobah on the hand. The referee gave the penalty immediately. I think what Thiago Silva is saying is, look, the referee gives a penalty, and if VAR to overturn it, it's got to be comprehensive evidence to overturn it. Usually they aren't overturned. Well, it's ruffled the feathers of Thiago Silva, once a Chelsea player of 100 plus appearances, now 40 years of age. Story of the game so far, Joao Pedro with the only goal of the game. The 187th goal scored in the FIFA Club World Cup, and would you believe it, that was the first goal scored by a player against a former team in this tournament. So the first player to score against his old club or former team in the whole tournament, which I find bizarre to believe, given that so many players cross continents and come across their old clubs in this competition. I find that quite an interesting fact that Joao Pedro has become the first player to score against a former club. Anyway, we've settled down, everyone back in their seats, and the second half is underway. It's a foul by Nkunku. We put a hand too many on the shoulder of Rene. And Rene went down, former Flamengo player. Played over 100 times for the Flamengo. Recently joined from Internacional. Rene has recovered, he's on his feet, and he plays the free kick all the way back to Thiago Silva. Into the feet of Nonato. Nonato finding Santos, who lofts it over the halfway line, but it's easily won back by Chelsea and Trevor Chalobah. Tosin finding Correa. I'll go through the two teams for you in just a moment. Doesn't look like either side have made a change at half time. Neither side has made a change yet. So it's Chelsea with Sanchez in goal. Gusto, Chalobah, Adebayo, Tosin as he's known, and Correa, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Palmer, Nkunku, Neto and Pedro. I'll go through the FLUMINESE 11 in just a second as Chelsea stroke the ball around and go back to the goalkeepers, and that gives us a little bit of an opportunity. Fabio, the 44-year-old in goal. Ignacio, Thiago Silva, the captain. Thiago Santos, that's the back three. Guga and Rene, the two wing backs. Hercules comes into the midfield with Nonato and Facundo Bernal. Two strikers in John Arias and Jermaine Cano, the 37-year-old. It's an experienced starting 11 for FLUMINESE. We've played nearly 2 minutes of the second half. And it remains 1-0 to Chelsea, which is a fair reflection on what we've seen so far. Pedro Neto has been the standout Chelsea player on the left-hand side of that midfield. Getting forward, and it was his cross that led to the goal. There's Cole Palmer to Gusto. Knocks it against the shins of Facundo Bernal, Uruguayan, and out for a throw into Chelsea. Feeling the second Chelsea goal might just finish off Fluminense. And the ball is played by Cole Palmer out towards the left-hand side. Neto scampering after it, collides with the corner flag, pretty much snaps the corner flag off his roots and keeps the ball in play, but it's nicked off of him by Guga and cleared away by goalkeeper Fabio. And that corner flag over on the far side of the pitch is prostrate. It's flat on the ground. As Trevor Chalobah gathers the ball in the centre circle and sprays it out wide to Malo Gusto. Gusto inside again to Nkunku this time. Now Caicedo out towards the left-hand side again, and Neto goes scampering down towards the corner flag once more. No reunion with the said flag. He's already flattened once, and now Neto is going to the corner flag to repair the damage that he caused. Nothing he could do about it. Just collided with the flag, and it just seemed to snap. But he has repaired it. He's done a good job, Neto. Not just a footballer, decent at DIY as well. Here is Caicedo. He's going to have a wham to goal, and it's just over the bar from Caicedo. 20 yards from goal. He doesn't score too many. Moises Caicedo back from suspension today. And the Ecuadorian let rip into the Chelsea crowd behind the goal rather than under the bar. Not known for his goal scoring. It was just a little too high. Chelsea still lead here low by a goal to nil. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Starting off in the front foot as they would have wanted to. They've won the ball back with a good press. Caicedo finding Cole Palmer, who goes down the right hand side, corner edge of the penalty area. Fends off one challenge, finding Cucurella. Cucurella with time to chip the ball in, and the header towards goal was not quite where he wanted it to be. In the end, the ball was played in, and it was Joao Pedro that was challenging. He's been put behind by Nonato, and it is going to be a corner. They were putting on an awful lot of pressure there with Chelsea. Great ball into the box, and eventually put behind. It was Guga, in fact, who got the final touch, and it hit the police officer standing behind the goal, to his own amusement, it has to be said. Corner's been taken, it's been played short, and here's Caicedo. Lifts it into the penalty area. Challenging for it was Chalobah. It comes back out again to Gusto. Poor first touch from him. Caicedo is there again. Just mops things up so efficiently for Chelsea. Chalobah. Now Cucurella. Caicedo again. Big, strong midfielder who makes such a difference to Chelsea. They're better side when he's in it. And Nkunku again out towards that left-hand side. Here's the problem for Fluminense. It's Pedro Neto into the penalty area, pulls it back. It's Enzo trying to play it sideways. It wouldn't quite fall for Cole Palmer, and it's cleared away by Nonato for throwing on this near side to Chelsea. Gusto. He's got the ball at his feet. He's waiting for the run of Nkunku on the right-hand side. Comes inside to Caicedo. Just turns the ball to Chalobah. Just inside the Fluminense half. Fluminense warming up the substitutes at the moment before it's too late. Joao Pedro holds the ball up well. Good turn from Joao Pedro. It's an excellent challenge coming in from Rene to win the ball back, but they've got it again through Nkunku. A little bit too solid, was it, from Nkunku? No, it was an offside against Joao Pedro, and so it will be a free kick to Fluminense. And it remains 1-0 Chelsea. And I think it was Malo Gusto that was actually coming back off an offside position, and then he gathered the loose ball, and that's why the flag went up. Chelsea are quickly pressing Fluminense. They're looking to get the job done here, Chelsea. If they go 2-0 up in this searing heat, I would really fancy them to see it over the line. They're currently a goal to the good, and deservedly a goal to the good as well. Joao Pedro, if you're just joining us, with the only goal of the game so far against his former club, the Brazilian scoring his first Chelsea goal and his first Chelsea start. 52 minutes gone. Sanchez, who hasn't really had anything to do so far. Gusto lays it off carefully to Nkunku. Steps on the ball waits for Caicedo to call in possession, and Kunku again to Joao Pedro, holds it up really well. Cole Palmer has been pretty quiet today. Gets it wide to Malo Gusto. Gusto back inside. Joao Pedro, almost the perfect pass to Gusto, who'd made a good run into the box. It was well blocked though by Thiago Silva. It's been caught slightly out of possession, and this is Cucurella, who drives one across the face of goal and just wide. Got some venom behind that with his left foot, did Marc Cucurella, the Spaniard. And he scored 5 goals in the last 22 Premier League games. And you think those 5 goals were scored in the same amount of time that Cole Palmer only scored 4. So he scored 1 more in the second half of the season than Cole Palmer. Goals have dried up a little bit. Fabio Capello is one of the FIFA guests here today, enjoying his football as a couple of changes are being made. Eve is coming on. Alvarado, got Eve on his shirt. I think they're bringing on a couple of subs here. Got a look at it. One of those coming off is Thiago Santos. Alvarado is on for Cano. And double change. Keno and Thiago Santos swapping places as well. So it's Keno, the left winger. So that will go to a back 4. They're going to change to a back 4 in that respect. Guga and Nunez. It means that Keno will come on and offer some width. I think John Arias will come to the right, and Alvarado will be the natural target man in the middle. But here come Chelsea again with Joao Pedro. He's had an excellent game. Twisting, turning, but can't find a way to beat John Arias. Arias with a long ball forward to find Alvarado. Alvarado into the penalty area. Can he make an immediate impact? He gets the shot in. It's saved by the Chelsea goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. First shot on target from Fluminense, and it's taken them just coming up to 55 minutes. And already they've looked a little bit more dangerous by changing their formation to a kind of 4-3-3. Arias moving to the right-hand side, and that was his pass that found Alvarado. And suddenly Chelsea's defence have got something to think about. Here's Cucurella lifting the ball down the line. It won't find Pedro Neto. It will find Ignacio inside to Thiago Silva. Back to Ignacio again, former Bahia player. 28-year-old, out wide to Guga, former Brazilian under-23 international. Once again, it's into the feet of Alvarado. Big, strong, experienced striker. Just the 1 goal this season. That came in Serie A in Brazil, the league. Which they were hoping to return to action this weekend. Even if they lose tonight, they won't be. They were due to go to Santos. Here's Keno, pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area. It's another shot from Alvarado, which is blocked. Bernal playing it sideways. It's pinched back though by Fernandez for Chelsea. Now Cole Palmer rides one challenge, but not the second. Ball was won back by Nonato, and now suddenly Chelsea are away. And this is Joao Pedro into the penalty area. Still Joao Pedro. Oh, that's a scintillating finish. He's not going to celebrate that one either, but he's got a double against his old club. And that was a wicked finish. Phenomenal pace on the ball, and he lifted it in off the underside of the bar. Breathtaking finishing from the Brazilian, which has surely knocked out the Brazilians with 11 minutes of the second half played. It's Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. It's a double from the new boy Joao Pedro against his old club. 2 fantastic strikes, and on both occasions you have to say there's absolutely nothing that Fluminense or their goalkeeper, 44-year-old Fabio, could do about it. It came from nowhere, and then suddenly stretching the play was Enzo Fernandez. Beautiful ball, and he was so selfish there, and I like it when a striker is selfish, and he certainly was there. Joao Pedro cut inside, he had eyes for goal and no one else, and he smashes it against the underside of the bar, down over the line. There is no debate that is an exhilarating goal. Fantastic finishing from Joao Pedro. It looks like a purchase made in heaven by Chelsea, this. He's not going to celebrate these goals, Joao Pedro, but he would have enjoyed hitting both of those. He struck both of them so sweetly. And Joao Pedro scores twice. 10 goals in 30 appearances for Brighton last season. There is no doubt he is a proven goal scorer. And at the very top level, with the very top service, you get the feeling he could be an exceptionally dangerous striker. Joao Pedro with 2, and FLUMINESE are staring elimination. Back in the group stages, they were all saying, is this going to be South America's tournament? Well, the last 3 standing look as if they're all going to be European. Money does talk. 3 of the superpowers will be left to fight it out. And Chelsea will take some knocking over. They have grown in stature, they have grown in confidence, and there is absolutely no doubt that they are going to be a returning force in the season or 2 to come. There is a yellow card that's been shown here to a FLUMINESE player. It's a foul on Joao Pedro. Enzo Fernandez, by the way, takes the lead in the most yellow card. Sorry, the most yellow cards. Just look at the yellow card. Nanato is the first yellow card of the game. Enzo Fernandez takes the lead. He is now the top assist maker in this tournament. 3 assists. Pedro Neto is standing down below. He's coming back on. And it looks like Joao Pedro is going to make way for Chelsea. He's been brilliant today, Joao Pedro. 2 exhilarating finishes. And Nicholas Jackson is the player that will replace him. Will this be the last time, or one of the last times, we see that Nicholas Jackson pull on a Chelsea shirt from top of the pecking order? You could argue he's now 3rd in the pecking order of those striking positions. He gets a chance this afternoon because Liam Delap is serving a suspension. Jackson on. Joao Pedro has done his business. He won't get a hat-trick against his first club in which he turned professional, broke through the ranks and made his name before joining Watford. Good at Watford, he was good at Brighton. There's Nicholas Jackson, but he's been bundled off the ball really well by Ignacio. Good strong defending, played inside by Guga. Chasing after it is Chelsea number 10, Cole Palmer. Very easy in the end for FLUMINESE at the back, but that second goal has left them with a lot to do. You can't say they're out of it, they're not. If they can get a goal, it makes things interesting, but we've just gone past the hour mark and time is of the essence. And Chelsea are looking the likelier. And this man has ruled the roost in the middle of the midfield, that man being Enzo Fernandez, but he's actually given the ball away here, which is very rare for him. Keno into the penalty area, decided to take a wild swipe towards goal, but he forgot to wrap his left foot around the ball, and he's put it high and wide and into the crowd behind the goal. 61 minutes gone, FLUMINESE 0, Chelsea 2. 2 goals for Joao Pedro. And a South American presence in the new look FIFA Club World Cup is about to wave its goodbyes unless they can find a comeback from somewhere. But here's Jackson through the middle. Quickly out to deny him was Fabio with the help of Ignacio. I just wonder where the goal is going to come from. Alvarado has looked lively since he's come on. Had that chance which required a save from Sanchez, but that save was a save you'd expect a goalkeeper to make. And that alone is the only shot on target from FLUMINESE. They have barely threatened, but they're looking to threaten now with Keno down the left. Gusto gets the foot in. Look who's there winning the ball back. It's Caicedo. And the driving force of Enzo. Helped on towards Nicholas Jackson by Nkunku. Nkunku's made the run forward. Jackson's been tripped up by Ignacio, and that will be a free kick just inside the Fluminense half to Chelsea. 2-0 they lead. Chelsea have, the way things are at the moment, you have to say, 1 foot in the final. Do you know what? Nicholas Jackson has rolled his player there brilliantly, but he's put his studs on the foot of Ignacio. Free kick was given against Ignacio, and you look at it slow motion, it should have gone the other way. Forward towards Jackson. Run again by Gusto. Enzo. Wide to Nkunku. Still Nkunku. He's beaten 2. Nkunku with the shots, and it deflects wide. Well, Joao Pedro exited to a huge applause from the Chelsea supporter. 2 goals against his former club. And Maresca's side firmly en route to the biggest fixture in club football history. And it's a corner to Chelsea, and they're not in any particular hurry to go across and take it. And in a gentle jog, his right wrist heavily strapped up. 63.5 minutes gone. And one thing I will say is it doesn't matter where you're from in the world, you don't want to be 2-0 down in a football match against anybody in this searing heat, no matter how used you are to playing in it. Chelsea in control. Flicked on by Cucurella, almost came to Pedro Neto. It does come out nicely to Nkunku. Gusto. Back to Caicedo, who's on the halfway line. Suddenly realises he's the last man there, so he just prods it back to his goalkeeper for safety. Sanchez out to Cucurella on the left-hand side. Chelsea know that if they can work the ball and manage the game, they will see things through here. One player that's certainly grown on me in this tournament is Enzo Fernandez. He's been brilliant for Chelsea. Partnership with Caicedo and Fernandez are 2 very, very good footballers who can look after themselves as well. There is a physique in there. Cole Palmer up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's been quiet today, and he's played a lovely ball here. This could be 3-0. This Nkunku cuts inside. Shot is cleared off the line by the former Chelsea man Thiago Silva. And that could have so easily been 3. Nkunku cutting his way past 2 challenges and slotting the ball past the goalkeeper, but off the line by Silva. Won't see him giving up anytime soon, even at the age of 40. Here's Nicholas Jackson, knocks it past Ignacio, but good covering from Guga. Chipped wide by Nonato. 65 minutes gone, held up really well by Alvarado. Wanting some support, gets it from Keno. Nonato is about to come off, and Soteldo is the player that's going to come on. We'll concentrate on that one in a minute. Nonato is the only player out there on a yellow card at the moment. Here comes that change now. So Jefferson. Soteldo is a winger. Another one of those players I mentioned earlier. One of the things you find difference between European football and South American football is that quite a few players are very short. This lad is 5'3". Don't find many players at that height making it in any of the big leagues in Europe. He will probably go to the right-hand side, or will he go down the centre? He probably plays the number 10, or maybe Arias will come inside. We'll keep an eye on that one. He goes into a central position. There's nothing of him, 5'3". But he will try and unsettle Chelsea. But at the moment, Chelsea are cruising, and this is Cole Palmer. Coming forward, coming inside, then going back outside again, then coming inside. Is he going to try a shot? He's twisting and turning. He does eventually find Pedro Neto. He's trying his luck on the right-hand side. Great ball in, headed back across by Nkunku and headed up in the air by Thiago Silva. Cleared as far as Cucurella on the left-hand side. Cucurella finding Nkunku. He's finding some space now. Out to Gusto. Gusto, is this his first goal for Chelsea? Well, he curls it just wide, and it's just not to be for Malo Gusto, who hasn't scored this season. Went to curl it, and it wasn't far away at all. Goalkeeper just pulled his hand away at the final moment. Had the shot that won the game in the quarter-final against Palmeiras, but it went down as an own goal. Chelsea looking the likelier to score if there are more goals to be scored in this game. We're just coming up to the halfway point in the second half. Chelsea on the front foot. Madueke is about to come on. He's going to come on for Pedro Neto. He's looked pretty knackered from about the 20th minute onwards, but he's still run Fluminense ragged. James is coming on as well as Madueke. He comes on for Mulo Gusta. So a return from injury for Reece James, who got injured in the match pre-match warm-up against Palmeiras a few days ago in the quarter-final. Only a minor injury. Wasn't risked. He's been assessed very carefully, and Chelsea captain is back and handed the captain's armband by Enzo Fernandez. First touch for James, and plays it into the bleach blonde hair of Caicedo, who can be instantly recognised from a mile off. Cole Palmer has been very quiet today, but has started to come to life. He's just been dumped to the ground by a very late challenge by Facundo Bernal. Very Uruguayan that was. And he looks to the bench, does Cole Palmer, to say, what's that all about? Left one on the England international. Referee did give the free kick. I think 9 out of 10 referees would have given a yellow card for that as well. He's lucky he got away with that. Francois Letexia has been very lenient. Let's see a couple more changes now for Fluminense. Looks like they are going to bring on Lima. He's going to come on for Bernal. That was his last contribution, was flattening Cole Palmer. Bernal and Hercules coming off. Hercules has been good in this tournament. His effectiveness has been largely from the bench. And off he comes, and Augustin Canabio is on. Well, they've got a very, very attack-minded midfield now. It's going to leave them, I'm sure, exposed. Their front five are two strikers, two attacking midfielders and two wingers. Oh, sorry, one winger. Two wingers, two attacking midfielders and two strikers, so the front six. So they're going for, it's kind of like a 4-0-6 now. Not quite sure who's going to play in the midfield. Might best be Lima. Anyway, it's wides to Keno. He's one of those, 35-year-old. Touched forward by Arias. And Lima, first touch for him. Sent out wide by Canabia, first touch for him. Out to Soteldo, who's made his way out to the right-hand side. Soteldo again, edge of the box. It's left and curled towards goal by Lima, but it was always high and it was always wide. It's going to be a goal kick, and Chelsea quite happily allow their opponents to try their luck from range, and Lima tried to curl one. Got out the way, Soteldo, but it made no difference in the end. It's a goal kick, and the pitch is bathed completely in sunshine, with the exception of the tiny little patch on the edge of the 6-yard box, which is cast in shadow by a advertising hoarding up high on the roof of the stand behind that goal, which is cast a shadow in a little 2-foot square area, which Tosin is trying to stay in for as long as possible to stay out of the sunshine. Chelsea in control here, and Kunku is playing as a left back at the moment, chips the ball down the line. Nicholas Jackson can't find Cucurella, nicked back by Soteldo. Soteldo's still going, but he's going backwards, and he's caught Cucurella there, Soteldo, and Soteldo has been penalised. Well, I said he's not much of him, he's only 5'3". He's a bit of a tiger, the Venezuelan, and he's just picked up a yellow card only 3 minutes after coming on as a substitute. Well, 5'3" or not, the Venezuelan has put his mark on Cucurella there. And, so he's a tiger. He used to play for Tigres in Argentina, Jefferson Soteldo, 27-year-old. He's also played for Santos in Brazil. Venezuela. He might only be 5'3", but he's well built. He lacks in height. He doesn't lack in width and physique, that's for sure. And he's not afraid to put himself about. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. Chelsea in control. have to say, with 18 minutes to go, it's looking fairly comfortable for the Blues, who are today in white shirts and green shorts and socks. Fluminense in a distinctive red and green stripes, those stripes dissected by white stripes. Very, very noticeable kit in the world of football. The flag is up on the far side, which brings to an end a hopeful attack by Fluminense. But it was played forward by Keno. Alvarado was offside. Was it Canobio? I think it was Canobio that was offside. Well, they're going with an ambitious two up top. The two midfielders are both attacking midfielders in Arias and Lima. They've got to score the next goal in this game. And if they do, it could be interesting. There's going to be a yellow card here. And it's going to be shown to the Chelsea goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. His face is rather blank. He doesn't really care. It's his first of the tournament, so he won't miss the final. But, Chelsea picking up the first yellow card of the game. Remember, they are without Levi Colwill and Liam Delap today, serving one match suspensions after both accumulating 2 yellow cards in the run-up to the qualification for the semi-final. The final will be here on Sunday. Tomorrow here, Paris Saint-Germain against Real Madrid. Looking forward to that. Ironic, really, when you look back at it. You know, PSG and Real Madrid won their groups, but these two sides never even won their groups. PSG and Real Madrid did. I think the stronger half of the draw is that, but Chelsea are wrestling their way through to the final. They only come second in their group, remember, after losing 3-1 to Flamengo. It mattered not. It actually did them a favour. Put them in the weaker side of the draw. And Chelsea winning it back now with Nicholas Jackson. He's got Cucurella on the outside, and Cucurella into the penalty area. What can he do? Whips it across, and it was glanced away from goal in the nick of time to take it off of Madueke, who looked destined to score. Palmer was ghosting in as well. Good defending this by you-know-who. Thiago Silva. So good at situations like that to glance the ball away. Well, he left Chelsea when they were a poor side, and he was still one of their best players. And he's been one of the better players on the pitch tonight, certainly one of the best players for Fluminense. Here he is on the ball now. Just rolls it forward carefully to Lima. Lima struggling to get it away, and Caicedo forwards, and Madueke. Oh, sorry, not Madueke. It was Christopher Nkunku, who's in an offside position. So nothing comes of it. 15 minutes to go. Time for a quick water break, says the referee. Let's have some fluids. A cooling break is called by the French referee. And, we are just 15 minutes away from Chelsea making their way through to the final of the FIFA Club World Cup here in the USA. New York is the venue. This will be the venue for the second semi-final tomorrow and the final on Sunday. Incidentally, new style match ball from Adidas being used for the first time tonight for the semi-finals and the final. It is the same ball, it's just a different pattern. I don't know why they've changed it at the semi-final stage. There probably is a story behind it. I don't know what the story is. Fluminense. What do we know about them? Well, they play at the very famous Maracanã. They are from the Laranjeiras neighbourhood of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Cidade Maravilhosa, a wonderful city, renowned for its inimitable carnival, Copacabana beaches, the Panama beaches as well, samba, bossa nova music, iconic landmarks such as the Christ the Redeemer statue and Sugarloaf Mountain. But for all their glory, the 4-time Serie A title winners in Brazil are on their way out. They won the Copa Libertadores for the first time in 2023, and that won them a place in this competition. But they haven't won the league in Brazil since 2012. It's a competitive market, Brazilian football. Fluminense are finding it incredibly difficult to end that drought of 12 years without a trophy. They are very much out of the running in this season's title race. They do have a game in hand on most of the teams above them. There's 20 points after 11 games. Flamengo are out on top, 4 points better off. It is tight at the top. They will return to league action the weekend after next. It's with Sanchez, the goalkeeper for Chelsea, who's had a very comfortable afternoon, as has this man, Trevor Chalobah. Although he did give away a penalty in the first half, only for it to be overturned. Caicedo winning the ball back, but rolled down the line by Lima, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Can he get the cross in here on the left-hand side? Jon Arias. Arias nearly found a way through, but Caicedo putting a foot in. Noni Medweka stopped by one number 11 to another. Keno winning the battle with the number 11s against Noni Medweka. We've got 11.5 minutes plus injury time, and you get the feeling that this searing heat is not helping Fluminense in their quest to get the next goal in this game. It does leave them a little exposed. They are playing with a very attack-minded formation, and this is Christopher Nkunku into the penalty area. On the outside was Cole Palmer, and it's going to be a goal kick. It was played off of Palmer cleverly by Guga, and that will be a goal kick. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. So far so good for the Blues of West London, leading thanks to 2 goals against his old club from Joao Pedro. What a way to mark a first start for Chelsea. 2 brilliant goals. His finishing today has been top drawer. 2 magnificent finishes. Well worth watching. Here is Soteldo trying to get things ticking for Fluminense. They have to get a goal. They have to get a goal soon if they are to make for an interesting finale. But they've got to be careful they don't have their pockets picked here. And Jackson is into the penalty area, and he shoots into the side netting. Frustration there for Nico Jackson, who nicked the ball away from Fluminense, who dallied at the back with Ignacio, and he's gone into the penalty area. Give the eyes to the goalkeeper. He's put it past the goalkeeper with his right foot shot, but he's put it wide. And that perhaps the difference between Nicolas Jackson and his successor Joao Pedro. Jackson is being linked with a move away. Don't think he'll want to hang around if he's going to be third choice striker. 13 goals last season, 10 in the Premier League. Nicolas Jackson has certainly got time on his side during his time out in America. A couple of weeks ago he celebrated his 24th birthday. So Moresco's side on the cusp of another final. The talk back home is, how will this affect Chelsea's season? These players will need a rest. The Premier League season is 6 weeks away. Not even that really, 5 weeks I think this weekend. Most teams have now reported back for pre-season. With the exception of Manchester City, who were knocked out of this competition in the round of 16, rather surprisingly, by Al Hilal. Back towards the left-hand side, taken on the chest by the 35-year-old Keno. He tries to get the better of Reece James. Reece James was having none of it though. Now Cole Palmer turns well. Back again to Medweki and James. Cutting inside, finding Caicedo. Upping it on to Tosin. Wide to Cucurella. Chelsea mopping the ball forward with precision in their passing. Caicedo skipping past a couple of challenges and sending the perfect ball out wide to Noni Medweki. Medweki on the right. Still Medweki runs it into the gap, and the finish was from Nicholas Jackson, but blocked by a combination of Thiago Silva and the goalkeeper Fabio. It's cleared away by Ignacio. Back inside by Lima. Calm as you like from Thiago Silva. Lima again. Thiago Silva plays the ball out to Guga on the right hand side. The fullback heads up towards the halfway line. Gives it to Canorbio. You just feel that this is trickling away from Fluminense. Museo have given a really good account of themselves. They'll have bragging rights in that they've got further than anyone else in this tournament from South America. They're not out of it quite just yet. Here's Canobbio. Plays it wide to Soteldo into the penalty area, taking on Cucurella. Gets the cross in. Tosin says, OK, you can have a corner, and heads it behind. So corner to Fluminense, 7 minutes to go. Soteldo looking lively down the right-hand side, winning a corner. Chelsea have won 12 of the last 14 competitive matches. This will be 8 wins out of 9. Only loss coming against the Brazilians Flamengo in the group stages. It did them a favour. They didn't win the group. They had the easier route to the final. It's all worked out in the end. A game worth losing, that Flamengo game. This has been fairly comfortable for them. Could it be an uneasy end? Fluminense, if they could score a goal here, would make for an interesting finale. Back out wide for the corner taker, Soteldo, trying to take on Cole Palmer. Tees it up for Guga, leaves it to Lima. Soteldo again, coming inside, still Soteldo. Turns it back out wide to Lima. Canobbio. Soteldo again, needs delivery. And it does come in, it's headed away by Enzo. Only as far as Lima, gets it wide. Arias, it's another corner. Came off of Reece James. So corner, 6 minutes to go to Fluminense, who trail here by 2-0. Chelsea on the cusp of being the first team through to the final. It will be, by the look of things, an all-European final. Corner's taken short. Soteldo gets to the byline, lifts it in, it's headed towards goal, and then turned towards goal again from Alvarado. It was headed on initially by Arias, and Alvarado turned, having blocked the header, and then he's turned and it's scooped and miscued, and Alvarado can't really make the most of the opportunity. Got in the way. It was a good block, but there was a foul. It was Tosin that got the block in, but Tosin was actually fouled. Reece James was on the ground as well. Andre Santos is coming on, and Christopher Nkunku is the player who will be replaced. Just to solidify things, looks like Enzo Fernandez is coming off as well. He's been brilliant today. Really impressed with him. It's got better and better as this tournament has gone on. Nkunku's done all right. Not many would have expected him to start the quarter-final and the semi-final, but he's done really well. Dewsbury Hall, who's the player coming on, just to help batten down the hatches for the final few minutes. So we've got about 4 minutes plus injury time. Kenan Dewsbury Hall, widely expected to depart from Chelsea in the summer. Most people will say it's not a signing they would have recommended, not a signing they would have made. He'd done okay in the Conference League for them last season. Barely got a mention in the Premier League. He has been used fleetingly in this competition. There's still a Premier League player in there, and Dewsbury Hall for sure. Just don't think Chelsea's his level. Foul by Alvarado. It's pushed away by Reece James. Free kick taken by Caicedo. Tosin wide to Cucurella on the halfway line. Feeds it down the line to Madueke, who's gone back down the left-hand side now. Caicedo, there has been a rather large concrete brick in the middle of Chelsea's midfield, as always, today. And there's no doubt that they've built the side around Caicedo, and you can see why. But there are some superstars emerging in this Chelsea line-up now, and they found a new one today. Joao Pedro with both the goals. Well, if Fluminense are to take this one at extra time, I think it's fair to say they need to score now. Here's Juan Arias, chips it out towards the near side, but it's been overhit slightly. Chipped down the line by Rene, can't keep it in play. Throw in to Chelsea. 2.5 minutes to go, and they will just ease this throw in forward and kill a few more seconds, keep some possession, run the clock down. Clean sheet will be just a tonic to take them through to the final. Whatever happens tomorrow, Real Madrid against Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea will probably be kicking off Sunday evening's final as the underdog. I think we've seen enough today to suggest that this Chelsea side will give either Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid a real game. And that should be quite some game tomorrow. Final is here on Sunday in the evening as well, which Chelsea will be delighted about because they had to sweat their way through to the win today. Chelsea's excellent form continuing, going quietly about their business. The big question is, how do they integrate a couple of weeks rest for these players and then regroup them for pre-season when they're probably not going to get any pre-season activity? It's just going to go straight into the Premier League. It's going to be an interesting one. How will Chelsea cope? They kick off with a home game in the Premier League, which is just over a month away. They do have friendlies penciled in for Leverkusen at home and AC Milan for a home game against the FA Cup winners, Crystal Palace, on the 17th of August. Cucurella winning the ball. And this is a chance for Chelsea to get forward. Looking for number 3. It's Cole Palmer with a shot, which is blocked. Comes back out again to Santos. Cole Palmer again. Can he make room for the shot? No, he can't. Gets it wide, Madueke. Madueke thought about the cross. He does eventually get the cross in. It will come out to the edge of the penalty area. Wouldn't sit for Reece James, and they've cleared the ball away, Fluminense. And they've started to run out of time here. Alvarado on the left-hand side. Chelsea, after playing against Palace, will have another London derby the following week away at West Ham. Then they entertain Fulham, and then they go to Brentford. So their first 4 games in the Premier League next season will be London derby. So the good news is their first 4 games, they don't have to leave the capital. They won't have to leave the capital until the 20th of September when they go to Old Trafford. Fluminense, well, they just have to hit the ground running. They're back in Serie A in Brazil in 10 days' time. Here they come, Caneggia. Good turn from him, Canobia. That's got to be a foul on Santos, and indeed it is by Augustin Canobia. The Uruguayan kicks the ball against the advertising boards in frustration. We are into 6 minutes of stoppage time. We've played nearly a minute of that already. Chelsea are starting to make plans for an extended stay in the United States of America. They'll be here to Sunday at least. One more excursion out here at the MetLife on Sunday. But will it be PSG or will it be Real Madrid? They've given the ball away rather sloppily, and a shot from a long way out for Augustin Canobio is easily dealt with by Sanchez. Only their second shot on target all game. He's had 2 saves to make. 2 saves you'd expect him to make. It was on target. It wasn't a bad hit. Didn't have anywhere near enough pace. Cucurella rolls it down the line. Madueke giving it away though to Soteldo. Back inside from Lima. Lima finding Guga. Guga running the ball out of play, and it'll be a Chelsea throw, and there will be no hurry to take this throw in for Chelsea. inside their own half. Cucurella holding the ball above his head, the Spanish international. Forward to Nicholas Jackson. Had one chance since coming on as a sub, but that's a poor pass. Can't find a way past Rene. Rene sweeping it into the midfield, but he was too slow in the uptake there, Lima, and Lima's still got it. It's turned away as Arias. Arias gets it wide to Soteldo. Soteldo with the cross, headed towards goal, but headed wide. Well, it was a chance. It was a chance. And it was Keno that made the run into the box, and the 35-year-old rose well. He was always stretching against Reece James, and he put the header wide. Caicedo's gone down holding his ankle. They won't want to lose him for the final, Chelsea. The first time in this game. The Chelsea physio, Stuart Vaughan, is on the pitch. I think it's cramp more than anything else. Just seemed to well up. Well, it's either cramp or it's his calf that's locked. Hoping it's cramp. I think that's what it is. So 3 of the 6 minutes of added time have elapsed. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. 2 goals, 1 in each half from the former Fluminense player, Joao Pedro. This is just a stop in play that is delaying the inevitable. Fluminense fans are still making lots of noise around the stadium. They've been brilliant, the South Americans. They've embraced this tournament more than any. It's a great stadium this, the MetLife. The only time this isn't a good stadium is when there's a thunderstorm, because everyone gets wet. There's not too much cover here. Not too much shade either on days like today when the sun shines brightly, although the Shana has disappeared somewhat in the last half an hour or so, to the delight, I'm sure, of the players. It's all about the Pedros today. Pedro Neto excellent down the left in the first half in particular. Joao Pedro with 2 goals. Fluminense have not had an answer. A couple of Mexican fans amongst the crowd. Mexico, of course, beating the USA in the final of the Gold Cup. Nice London connection there, of course. Raul Jimenez, beg your pardon, Fulham scoring the equalising goal in the final for Mexico as they come from behind to beat the US and claim the Gold Cup for the 10th time in their history, adding to the Nations League that they won just a few months ago, also in the US. Beat Panama in the final of that, so 2 trophies for Mexico. Maybe dark horses for the World Cup next season. Co-hosts as well. Long clearance for Sanchez. He's gone deep into the opposition half. A quick glance back from Thiago Silva to his goalkeeper Fabio. Out to left back Rene. Thiago Silva again. So accurate with his passing. He hasn't put a foot wrong, Thiago Silva. Still reads the game absolutely brilliantly. Caicedo is back on. He's had his treatment. Moving gingerly, but I think it was cramp more than anything else. You'll see this out, I'm sure. Chelsea have made 5 changes. They can't make any more. Both teams have made the full quota of 5 changes. In comes the cross from Soteldo. It was ambitious to say the least, and it's risen over everyone and out for a goal kick. Fluminense 0, Chelsea 2. Joao Pedro. Well, have a degree of happiness and a degree of compassion, having scored 2 against the club that raised him and introduced him to professional football. He scored his first professional goal. He made his first professional appearance in the famous burgundy and green stripes. A great spell at Watford, an even better spell at Brighton, and it looks like he's going to have a very prosperous spell at Chelsea, going by his first start today. 2 wonderful goals. Can they strike back late? Canobia. We've played 7 minutes of 6 added on, but that was because of the injury to Caicedo. Cross comes in, and acrobatic to say the least from the number 9 Alvarado, trying to scissor kick. got a decent connection on it, but it went flying over the top of Robert Sanchez's crossbar and out for a goal kick. Technique was brilliant, the execution was more shin than bridge of boot. That's why it went flying over the crossbar. Not quite the perfect scissor kick, but it looked good. It flew over. Another stop in play, which is fragmenting this stoppage time. Chelsea happy to bide their time. New York skies are somewhat clouded now. Rain is forecast. But not yet. Nothing is going to dampen Chelsea's spirits here. They lead by 2-0. Deep conversation between Enzo Fernandez and his coach Enzo Maresco. The two Enzos. He was good today. Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner, maybe a Club World Cup winner. World Cup double? Who knows, next summer he might well get it. Argentina will take some stopping. Caicedo's going to have to come off. He's limping out of the action, which means Chelsea are going to run down the clock with 10 men on the pitch. They're not going to take any chances on Caicedo. Something's cramped up in his calf that's causing 1 or 2 problems. It's probably just the searing heat. I'll be hoping he's okay for the final against Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain. We've now played nearly 9 minutes added on. Can't be too much more. And, the referee has had a look at his watch. FLUMINESE coming forward again with Lima down the left-hand side, towards the edge of the penalty area. Gets it wide to Keno. Keno back inside again. Rene coming forward, trying to join in on the action. Out wide from Konobia. Is that a foul by Cucurella? No. Keeps on his feet, Soteldo. He's done well, and then he's turned straight into Madueke. Scooped into the penalty area, headed away by Tosin. Comes back out again to Lima. Can't find room for the shot. He does find room for the shot and blazes it over the crossbar. Lima in the 10th minute of added time. Can't test the Chelsea goalkeeper, and it flies over the crossbar. And now Tosin is down with a spot of cramp. And Chelsea surely are there now.